Welcome, students. Ready for another new topic? Let us start our today's session with a riddle. I have seats, but I am not a living room. I have an engine, but I am not a car. I am a mode of transport, but I am not an aeroplane. I am sometimes a bullet, but I am not fired out of a gun. I can be found in a subway, but I am not a sandwich. What am I? Think, what can it be? I know you all are smart enough to answer this question. Yes, children, it is a train. Children, you all must have traveled through different modes of transport, and it is always a different experience. Today, let us experience a journey through a train. Before starting with the poem, let us know more about the poet Mr. Robert Louis Stevenson. Children, Mr. Robert Louis Stevenson was a Scottish writer. Students, Mr. Stevenson was born in Edinburgh in United Kingdom. Children, do you know that Edinburgh is the capital of Scotland? Students, Mr. Robert Louis Stevenson had literary interests even in childhood. So he used to write stories in spite of his several diseases. He died when he was just 40 years old. He is well known for his evergreen work like Treasure Island, Kidnapped, etc. Poem From a Railway Carriage by Robert Louis Stevenson captures the essence of the poem, as it is a record of the poet's journey in a train. The poem communicates the poet's observation and thoughts as he was sitting in a railway carriage. Let us see the first stanza. Faster than fairies, faster than witches, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches, and charging along like troops in a battle, all through the meadows, the horses and cattle. Children, in the first stanza, the poet describes the sights that he notices while traveling in the train. The train is moving faster than the fairies and the witches. The train rushes forward like soldiers who are attacking their enemies in the battlefield. The speedy movement of the train leaves behind bridges, houses, fences, and ditches. It also leaves behind the green fields where the horses and the cattle are grazing. All of the sides of the hill and the plain fly as thick as driving rain, and ever again in the wink of an eye, painted stations whistle by. Here in this stanza, Stevenson says that all the scenes of the hill and the plain are being crossed by the train as quick as one drop of rain following the other in a storm. In the next moment, the train passes railway stations and it looked like painted pictures. Children, now let us read the third stanza. Here is a child who clambers and scrambles, all by himself and gathering brambles. Here is a tramp who stands and gazes, and here is the green for stringing the daisies. Children, here in this stanza, the poet sees a child climbing a steep ground and collecting berries during climbing. He also sees homeless person who looks at the train with amazement. As the train moves forward, he sees some ladies in a common village, grassy land, making garlands with daisy flowers. Students, now let us read the last stanza of the poem. Here is a cart run away in the road. lumping along with man and load. And here is a mill, and there is river, each a glimpse and gone forever. In the last stanza, the poet sees a cart moving slowly in the highway. It was full of load, and the cart driver was sitting on the top of the load. He also gets a glimpse of a mill and a river by its side. All these objects appeared and disappeared so quickly. Students, I hope the explanation was quite clear and helped you all to develop your observation skills. Hope that you all enjoyed the train journey. Now, let us recite the poem. Even you all read along with me. From the Railway Carriage by Robert Louis Stevenson. Faster than ferries, faster than witches, bridges and houses, hedges and ditches, and charging along like troops in a battle, all through the meadows, the horses and cattle. All of the sides of the hill and the plain fly as thick as driving rain, and ever again in the wink of an eye, painted stations whistle by. Here is a child who clambers and scrambles, all by himself and gathering brambles. Here is a tramp who stands and gazes, and here is the green for stringing the daisies. Here is a cart run away in the road, lumping along with man and load. And here is a mill and there is river, each a glimpse and gone forever. Students, the poem From the Railway Carriage presents a series of realistic images that enable us to experience the feel of traveling in a train. I sign out our today's session with a quote. Our life is a constant journey from birth to death. The landscape changes, the people change, our needs change, but the train keeps moving. Life is the train, not the station. Thank you. Take care of yourself.